I just got out of watching Transformers 1, the latest Transformers movie, right on the week of the 40th anniversary of the original cartoon, Transformers, of course, based on the Hasbro toy line and everything. This is the latest animated motion picture, the first American animated movie since the 1986 movie. This is not better than the 1986 movie. That's a whole other thing. That movie's an 80s like imaginative fever dream. But the short critique of this movie is it's freaking awesome. Transformers 1. It's cool. I mean, I have nitpicks for it, but all in all, it's a great jump on point for beginners. If you want to share this with your little ones, like what Transformers is all about, this is the perfect opportunity for that. Very digestible, very accessible stuff. Getting into everything from Primus to, the Autobots and the Decepticons and all that stuff, and Iacon and all that stuff. They weave in everything about the original G1 lore. Everything has been woven throughout the different iterations of Transformers, all into one neat package here. For longtime fans, this is awesome. There's so many deep cuts in it, and they're all sort of integrated seamlessly. You will see all sorts of cameos. The thing is that a lot of characters don't have speaking roles because they concentrate on the main four characters. Orion's Pax, who becomes Prime, B16, who becomes, or B16, or whatever, who becomes Megatron, Elita 1, and Bumblebee. But, I mean, you'll see, like, Perceptor and frickin', RC, Moonracer gets a speaking, I'm pretty sure it was Moonracer gets a speaking line. Frickin' Chromia's in it. Like characters that a lot of people probably won't know, but if you know your Transformers stuff, you know all these characters. Orion Pax, of course, is in it, I think played by Lawrence Fishburne. Starscream is played by Steve Buscemi, which is great. You get a great Megatron versus Starscream fight. You get an amazing Prime versus Megatron fight. The animation is pretty good. At first, I was like, oh, it's, a little dark and stuff, but they were in dark places. But it gets better and gets way more detailed midpoint until the end. A lot of cool fighting, a lot of cool concepts in the fighting. Orion Pax is great, well written. They show him being resourceful. He uses a rocket pack in a creative way to save somebody at one point. He's pretty cool. All the characters are pretty neat. They're tropey, but at least they have some sort of personality. Elita 1 is ambitious and wants a promotion, all that stuff. And then in the beginning, she does something that I didn't agree with at all, but she comes back to it later on. And I was like, well, that makes her makes me not like her, but but I understand the arc, The score for it was pretty good. There's one great part towards the end. You'll know it when you see it when Prime is falling. There's a lot of great, like the flute and piano and synthesizer going on there that made that scene pretty incredible. The Quintessons are in it, not very long, but they play a big role. They don't have the 5 faces, guys. I don't. They're called Quintessons for a reason. There's the 5 faces, but there are other kinds of Quintessons, and you get to see a tentacled Quintesson here. They're scary monsters, basically. There's one character who betrays everyone. He already did that in one of the live-action movies. That's a hint. But yeah, I thought this, it's pretty decent science fiction tropes throughout, but pretty decent science fiction movie. It reminded me of, it's the shades of Metropolis, but it also reminded me of Star Wars, if you remember that old comic series that tied into the Marvel comic that tied into the toy line, where characters are being lied to and being worked and all that stuff. But I did love, there are a lot of F yeah moments in this film. There are some things I can nitpick here and there, but all in all, and I'll say this about the story, everyone's raving about how much heart there is and all that stuff. It's tropey stuff. It's there, but there's one scene that punctuates everything at the very end when Prime flashes back to the first time that he met B-116, and that hit home a bit. But for the most part, Megatron's turn is tropey. He all of a sudden he's acting unreasonable and out of character. I didn't really see this temper in him before. You could say it's from his newfound abilities. That's a whole other thing. I'm not gonna give all that stuff away. But him becoming Megatron is, I mean, he has to do it at one point, and he gets upset that somebody betrayed him. Not Prime. Don't worry about that. Another character, and he gets so unreasonable about it and tantrumy, and then becomes Megatron, and it's like it's not very gradual to me or dramatic, but it works. This is really made for kids to get into Transformers if they're very young. It's their introduction. This is an introductory thing. So the basic idea you can buy into that, Megatron gets darker and darker thoughts, and then becomes, B-116, B-16 or whatever, gets darker and darker thoughts, and then becomes Megatron. There you go. It's, there's not a lot to it. There's not a lot of nuance to that. I see a lot of reviews going on about, the heart, and you want to see these guys. Oh, shut up. It's like you've never seen movies before. I get it. They're going to be friends, and then they're not going to be friends. The way they get there, movie trope-wise is okay. It's kind of weird, but sure. It's a film thing. And this is made for, little kids, basically, although an adult can enjoy it for its action and stuff like that, and some of its humor. All in all, I thought this was awesome. If I were giving it, some sort of number rating, it's a solid 7.5 out of 10. And, I'm going to watch it more and more and more. If you're a longtime fan, you're in for a treat. I will say this, they do treat Shockwave lately. I mean, Shockwave's in it, but he's played for laughs a lot. Not really at his expense, but it's he's not the serious Shockwave that you've always seen, right? So, but all the characters are in it. That's pretty cool. So there you go. I mean, it's a good movie. Not as good as 86, of course. It's better than all the Bay former movies, and it's better than the last two, like Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast and all that stuff. It's better than those. So yeah, this is awesome. Looks like, they could make a sequel out of this. We'll see what happens. But I do recommend this highly. Once again, if you have little ones, do them a favor and do yourself a favor and take them to see this. They'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. If you're a longtime fan, don't be afraid. Go out and see this movie, support it. It's pretty cool. It's a good Transformers thing to see on the big screen. And can't wait to own it on Blu-ray and whatever. So that's my quick review coming out of the theater of Transformers 1. I'm sure I'm forgetting things. I'll talk about it on J-Man streams and stuff in the future. And so until next time, take care.